right before your very eyes. The stench that you smell from someone who's possessed, it's quite, you can smell it throughout the house. You can even smell it outside because the odor is so incredible. So you're looking at a body that's basically dead. It's dead because the demonic has transformed its personality into this body. Now, what we do when we do demonic profiling, okay, we look for things. There's different kinds of demons. Each demon has a different personality. Each demon has a different purpose for being. Demons, they're here to wreck God's creation. We are God's creation. And as a form of rebellious, that's exactly what it's doing. It wants to rebel against God by destroying us. And when it does that, we get the full gratifications of that. Horrible, so much suffering involved. We're in downtown Los Angeles in a hotel. I'm doing the exorcism. I have one priest that's assisting me, and the parents are behind me. And we're doing this exorcism on this person. And as I'm right in the middle of it, maggots started falling from the ceiling. So I'm feeling these things on my head. I didn't realize what it was at first. And then I said, these places are roach infested. I think it could be roaches. But, and it was a little dim in the room. So, but then I looked down and I used a Roman ritual. I look at my book and it's covered with maggots. And they're like falling off the book. I'm going, what the heck? And so I looked at Father Frank. I said, you know what? I think we need to take a break. and that's exactly what we did as we left. These types of manifestations do take place when there's something real that's supernatural. And when it's dark. When it's dark, you have to know exactly how to approach it. And you have to know exactly what you're doing. For 36 years, I did 3 exorcisms a day for 36 years. And that is only just a ballpark figure because I did also assessments. I do assessments for my other clergy and other priests who have submitted their findings in regards to doing an assessment. So I would make the final decision. And as all I could say, and I could attest to the fact that all of these things are real. And those who are skeptical, that's fine. It's healthy to be skeptic, but don't be closed-minded. If you're closed-minded, you'll never understand what the truth is all about. This is truth. We are standing on truth. And the truth of the matter is, we're all in the battle of good versus evil. We have to keep ourselves alert, keep our eyes open, and make sure that you are connected with a higher power. Because if you're not, you're going to be alone in the dark, not knowing what direction you're going, and not knowing exactly when you're going to be clobbered over the head by some type of invisible entity. Things like that take place. I'm downtown and I'm doing a ritual in a room, and it was in Skid Row, and I'm not kidding, an iron, it went from one room down the hall, made a complete turn, and hit me on my shoulder. And to this day, I still feel the injury. It's like, it's like a, I didn't even finish the story of 2013. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make this as fast as I can because I know we're limited in time. Okay, one where I almost lost my life. I keeled over. I was hit 3 times, the invisible entity. I keeled over. I had my assistants, they took me home. They took me home. For those of you who don't read lips, I apologize. What happened was, they took me home. I could hardly breathe. I contacted my family physician. He said, get your butt in the emergency room, which I did. And there they did a number of scans, blood tests, they did a whole 9 yards. They found out that I was having difficulty breathing because I had a 2-liter sack of blood that was wrapped around my heart. They have no idea how that particular thing happened. Well, I know how, because that's exactly where I felt. The invisible 2x4 hit me 3 times. I was put in the hospital. Believe it or not, I was in intensive care for 30 days. They did 3 procedures. They removed the blood sac from what was wrapped around my heart. I almost died. In fact, I was they isolated me because they did not understand why I was experiencing all these symptoms. And so they called the CDC, and the physician he came down, and he insisted I be put in isolation. And so I was there for at least the first 2 weeks. I was in isolation. Everyone had to wear a mask around me, kind of like what happened a couple of years ago. with the pandemic and all that. But I was watching everyone with masks, and I didn't even know what they looked like until everything was over. And when I did, I was relieved, because you never know who's visiting you in these rooms. Reverend Bill here, he prayed for me you remember when I was in the hospital for 30 days. I think you also did too. People that know me, especially on Facebook, they knew what happened in the whole situation. Yeah, this is absolutely true. And as a result, you have to be aware that you are being fooled. Everything that you think you know, I'm sorry, you don't. You don't know the details involved in what this war is all about. Satan is real, and each of us are in the war. So congratulations, you've all been drafted.
That's absolutely correct. You've all been drafted.
Sorry guys, I have to stand. I can't sit.